Naomi Suzanne from Naomi's Home Health, natural health coach, coming live into Naomi's Home Health Facebook page, my thyroid and hormone support group on Facebook, and also I'm over here on Instagram. So if I'm looking around, it's because I've got different cameras going. So I want to touch on, people always ask me how to lose weight, how do I lose weight, how do I lose weight? And they start restricting themselves, they start calorie counting, they start doing things that are really destructive to their body, particularly their adrenal health. So, and it took me a long time to actually get this myself because I was part of, the fitness industry. I was always into fitness, and, you're always thinking about what you're putting in your mouth, and, you get this. I think it's also from media and stuff, how much you're putting in your mouth and how often you're eating and all those things. So you start to restrict yourself. And that is the worst thing that you can do if you are trying to lose weight, or if you have, particularly if you have like an autoimmune disease, a thyroid issue, migraines, any autoimmune disease, like I said, Parkinson's, endometriosis, hair loss, any like chronic fatigue, any sort of chronic illness or symptom, your adrenals need support. And what happens is if you don't graze and eat regularly, and I'm talking about really good food, because grazing is critical to healing, what happens is your body will be forced to produce excess adrenaline to compensate for that, because we're trying to draw on your blood sugar will drop if you haven't eaten in the last few hours. Blood sugar drops, your liver's glucose reserves, if they're low or some are non-existent, your body tries to draw on those glucose reserves. When there isn't any glucose reserves, that is when your adrenals are forced to produce excess adrenaline to compensate. So this is the same for people who are stressed. Adrenals are really the first thing that people should be looking at when you're healing. If you're stressed, if you haven't dealt with a lot of your emotional issues, if you're not letting go of things, you can put absolutely everything out. Hormone imbalance, gut health, your nervous system. So if you have all this excess adrenaline being released, it can worsen your symptoms, and then you get your nervous system is completely out. So this is where you can get gut health issues, gas, bloating, lots of things like that, because your nerves in your gut, you have a lot of nerves in your digestive system, and they will be on sensory overload if there's excess adrenaline pumping through your body. Adrenaline is corrosive. It's like battery acid to your body. So drop it in the comments if it means anything to you. Like, have you ever just thought, I've got to stop eating, or I've got to reduce what I'm eating? We get that thought in our head, like, I'm eating too much. So what you should do is eat every 2.5 to 3 hours. And the snacks that are really, really good to eat it can be, depends how chronically ill you are. Could be 1.5 hours, could be 2 hours. Shouldn't really go over 2.5, but 2.5 hours. If you have to, if you can stretch it to 3. But really, when you're healing, to soothe those adrenals, to stop your body drawing on your glucose reserves in your liver, you need to snack. So things like celery, apples, dates, fruits and vegetables, a lot of, but particularly like hummus with carrots, celery, like I said. These are the things that have got pomegranate. Pomegranate is excellent, because what pomegranate does is it stays in your liver. The glucose stays in your liver, and that is what your adrenals can draw on when you have like when you aren't eating regularly or whatever it is. The pomegranate's glucose will stay in the liver, so it's a really good way to support your blood sugar levels. And when your body goes to draw on the glucose reserves, pomegranate for some reason is really good at lingering in there, so you're not drawing on your adrenals and you're not pumping adrenaline through your body. Orange is really good as well. Baby spinach, banana, just little snacks like pear, berries, honey. You can make yourself a fresh juice. If you don't want to eat anything, make yourself a fresh juice. Like I love apple, baby spinach, ginger, and cucumber. Cucumber is super hydrating as well. So we want to stay hydrated. We want to keep our blood sugar levels up. If you're dehydrated and your blood sugar levels are out and you're drawing on adrenaline, you're going to keep your weight on. And this is where we often get a lot of people worried about their weight, so they slow down what they're eating. They don't eat as often. They're having 3 meals a day. They start fasting. When you go to bed at night, your digestive system works, your liver is working, everything's no, it slows down. Sorry, it's gone. It slows down working. It stops working. It shouldn't be working. If you've eaten dinner right before bed, it will be working, and that's why you'll be tired when you wake up. But your digestive system is supposed to rest and all of that. So when you wake up, you want to get that going again, and you want to get your blood sugar levels going. So if you're in a chronic illness, fasting can be one of the worst things that you can do, because your body will start to draw on your glucose reserves. And when we start getting adrenaline pumping through our body, it can feel like we feel fantastic, because you get a surge of adrenaline, which is like a surge of energy. But you may later in the day get a serious drop. You may see that your symptoms aren't going away. You're getting worse symptoms. You're getting inflammation. You're getting gut issues. So if your adrenals are overworked, or you're pumping out a lot of adrenaline, you might find that these things will happen. So fasting is possibly one way that could be actually causing you to either stay sick, keep the weight on. Like some people do lose weight when they're fasting and they've got a chronic illness, but it shouldn't be about weight loss. It should be about getting to the root cause, so, keeping the adrenals calm and having them in a place where you're soothing. Like we need to de-stress. If you're not de-stressing or reducing stress as a part of your healing, then you're not going to actually heal effectively anyway. So it's really, really important to support your adrenals, and it should be the top of your list. Often we go straight to the gut, or often we go straight to the inflammation in our body. The inflammation is secondary. The gut is usually secondary. All of these things are usually secondary to what is actually happening. Your gut could be that you have a bacteria in your gut caused by whatever. You get a bacteria, and if you don't have enough hydrochloric acid in your gut isn't going to kill off the bacteria. Then you start removing foods that actually can help build up your hydrochloric acid, that helps kill off bacteria, because we start thinking, all right, these things are really destroyed. Like I'm getting symptoms, I'm getting gas, bloating, whatever it is, I'm getting these issues. So you take away foods that are actually trying to heal you. So looking at how much, if you've got low hydrochloric acid in your gut, as we get older, it depletes. As we get sick, it depletes. So you would guaranteed you would have low hydrochloric acid. So you're not going to kill off the bacteria without bringing that back up, and without eating foods that are antibacterial, which is fruits, vegetables, lots of herbs like cat's claw, nettle leaf. A lot of things like that will help kill off the bacteria. Clove is really good. Frankincense. A lot of these things are really good to help kill off the bacteria in your body. Lemons, limes, they're really high antibacterial. So if you've got that going on in your gut, that's a really, really good way to get rid of your bacteria. So cutting out foods sometimes, I'm talking natural foods, fruits, vegetables. Cutting out processed foods is optimal, but cutting out fruits and vegetables that are working for you actually is causing you to take longer to heal. But once your priority should be your adrenals, looking at that, because you're flooding your body with adrenaline often, especially if you drink coffee. You're flooding your body with adrenaline. If your adrenals are already working overtime and you go and have a nice big coffee, particularly a lot of people have it on an empty stomach, you are then drawing so hard on your glucose reserves, and you're flooding your body with adrenaline, and then everything else starts to happen for you. So it's really important to Start to think about how much you eat, how can you support your adrenals, what you can do to kill off bacteria in your body, because your lymphatic system is supposed to help kill bacteria. But if that's not working properly and you've got all this corrosive adrenaline going through your body, then it's not going to work. So looking at those things, this is what I do. I actually think adrenal health is super important, and I know a lot of practitioners do not ever talk about it. They go, right, what's going on in your gut? Right, what's going on with your arthritis? Right, what's going on with the pain in your leg? You know, it's straight to the source. Taking a step back and looking at the adrenals is super important, because our lives today are way too fast, way too stressful. The food is virtually just all toxic with chemicals and whatever else. You know, the nutrients in a lot of food is depleted from the soil being over sown. Is that the word you look for? So a lot of these things contribute to what we're doing with our body and our stress and our adrenal health. Past trauma, what's happened. You know, you could have been traumatized when you were younger. There could have been an incident. There could be an ongoing life event. You know, you may have grown up in a household that was stressful. You may have went to school and got bullied a lot. Those are things that keep your body in fight or flight. And if you don't bring that back down, it's going to stay that way. It's going to stay that way for a long, long time. So you need to support the adrenals, and that is eating regularly, seeing someone that can help you, like seeing someone who talks about adrenal health. It's very, very hard to find. It is a very big priority for me, because I have seen where things go, where they come from. And we look at people who come to me and they've been seeing naturopaths, they've been seeing all different therapists, medical system, doctors, and they're getting some help, but they're not getting to the root cause, which would be right at the top, which should be your adrenals. If you have a practitioner who doesn't talk about your adrenals, ask them why they don't. They may not be able to tell you, I don't know, but it should be a massive focus. It should be looking at stress management, emotional, mental health, all these things, what you're eating, what you're doing, how often you're eating, if you drink coffee, if you eat a lot of chocolate, if you know, craving sugar, a lot of these. If you're craving sugar, your adrenals need some support. If you're craving chocolate, you know, it's because you need that support. So drop it in the comments if any of this has made sense to you, if it's all, you know, it's not that simple, by the way. Like, adrenal health is hard to manage these days because, like I said, of our lifestyle. But we can actually get it better. So if you're not sleeping, your adrenals can be out. If you can't lose weight, your adrenals. Gut health, adrenals, a lot of those things. So that it is really, really important to look at that. And if you aren't doing that, it's a good time to start. Ask me, message me, book a consultation. This is what I work on. I want to get right back to the top. We're not going to start halfway up the ladder. You know, we're going to actually start from the start, which could possibly be your adrenals. So let's look into that. It's a really important factor, and it's one that is missed. And if you can't get better, if you have been going to all these people with all the best information in the world and you can't get better, this could be why, because they're missing that key step in your healing. So send me a message, book a consultation. Let's get back to the start. Let's go and see, you know, how we can get you feeling better, sleeping better, breathing better. That's a big thing as well. All of those things, because if you're not breathing properly, you're stressed. Where does that come from? Your adrenals. So it is a big cycle. Your breath, your sleep, your food, your adrenals, your gut, all of it. But, you know, there is a key element in all of that. And your adrenals are a tiny little gland above your kidneys, but they are an important one. And they do get stressed easily. They do pump out adrenaline easily. They do produce cortisol at the wrong time of the day when they shouldn't be. You know, at night time when you're so tired and you want to go to bed, that's your adrenals. Because you go to bed and you lay there and you're wide awake and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. Why can't I go to sleep? Your adrenals are producing cortisol at the wrong time of the day. You want it to produce in the morning and not in the night. So there's some things that we can do there as well. So let's look into that and message me if you need anything. But book a consultation because it is where you will find. Don't worry, I'm not going to go and tell you to stop eating everything. I'm going to tell you to add some foods in. I'm going to tell you to add some maybe herbal teas. I'm going to tell you to do some de-stressing activities. So I'm going to give you some tools and practices, but I'm not going to go and change your whole life. It's going to be simple. It's going to be ways that you can create new habits and improve what you're already doing, because that's what's important. I don't want to go and stress you anymore, because going and removing a shitload of foods from your diet and from your body is stressful. And if you're doing that for years on end, your adrenals are stuffed and you are not going to heal your gut. So, right, let's get to the start.